Hello viewers and welcome back to the Elite Karting Series here for round 3 at the historic Buckmore Park circuit. We've already had one of our races today and well, Split 3 back out on to the circuit for their second race of the day. Lewis Jolley set a scintillating 49.8 inside of race 1. He goes on to pole position ahead of Sandwell, who joins him on the first row. Kieran Hyde-Moody is on row 2 alongside Raj Kulai, who didn't have the most amazing of qualifying sessions, having that spin, but making up for it in that first race. Ryan Prattley and Brad Whitehouse make up row 3 with Chris O'Connell and Henry Ralter, your fourth row of the grid. Aidan Weller and Barney Williams, the rest of our top 10. Chrissy Harding is up in 11th position with Andy Laister joining her on row 6. Adam Thompson and Hugh Morrison are row 7. Mind you, only 9/10 of a second separating the entire grid to this point. Billy Good is in 15th with Miles Harding and Troy Fraser-McGonigal rounding out the rest of your grid. Lewis Jolley is the man on pole position for our second Split 3 race of the day. His best lap time, 49.8. Incredibly quick for this split grid, ready for the shouts very shortly. Then we'll be racing for 12 more minutes here in Split 3 and it's lights out and away we go. And it seems to be a pretty decent start for Lewis Jolley, who makes his way into turn 1 unscathed. Ross Sandwell in at second position as they make their way down into Conway's, keeping an eye on Miles Harding, who's trying to gain a position, looks to the inside into hairpin 1 of the number 12 kart of Billy Good, goes to the inside line, gets through. I can't quite tell if there was a spinner in the background or not there. It's a bit unclear. I think there might have just been someone going round as Miles Harding losing that position to Billy Good once again. Chris O'Connell also trying to get himself ahead of Raj Kulai as he goes around the outside in to the right-hander. It's just that at the end of the S's and he's up in position as well. Adam Thompson meanwhile trying to gain some spots up into Garner. He's got the number 5 kart just ahead of him with Barney Williams as there's a bit of contact just ahead and Adam Thompson makes good on it and is able to make a way through. Don't think Luke there's any more contact than just a bit of hard racing there, but either way Adam Thompson was able to capitalise.
Miles Harding, he has been given a 30-second penalty now for that incident at hairpin 1, so he did take out indirectly Andy Laister going through the hairpin 1 on that lap 1. So yeah, Miles Harding has been hit with a 30-second penalty, now riding on board with Adam Thompson. You can see in front of that, I believe, is Henry Ralter, who is up the inside of Ryan Prattley, I think it is. Oh, there's a spinner there as well. I think that was Chrissy Harding there who just spun out going through hairpin 2. So Chrissy Harding facing back is at hairpin 2. Yeah, we can see from her onboard that is indeed her. So it's unlucky there for Chrissy. She's now dropped down to the back of the fields.
Frustrating as well because Chrissy was having a good weekend and a good day up until this point, so she'll be hoping to get her head down and get a good qualifying lap effectively for that next race then, as Hugh Morrison now trying to find a position. He's got Aidan Weller just ahead of him. Adam Thompson has fallen back from the train a little bit, obviously getting past Chrissy Harding, but now a little bit of a ways back from the number 7 kart of Henry Ralter, so he'll be hoping that he can gain a little bit, and actually does gain quite a lot into hairpin 1. Adam Thompson will see what he can do into hairpin 2. Meanwhile, Ryan Prattley, number 2 kart just ahead of him. That is driven by Raj Kulai. That's for 6th position. That's actually at the very front of this train. Meanwhile, at the lead of the race, 7/10 of a second for Lewis Jolley. He's got a pretty decent margin to Ross Sandwell in 2nd position. Kieran Hyde, Brad Whitehouse and Chris O'Connell, the rest of your top 5. Chris is keeping an eye on Brad Whitehouse and going to start to battle with him in the next couple of laps, I am sure. Let's keep an eye then on 2 karts at the moment. Adam Thompson catching up to the pack just ahead of him. Hugh Morrison also all over the back of Billy Good.
Got Ryan Prattley here, he's looking up the inside of Raj Kulai, so these have been battling over the course of the first few laps, and Ryan Prattley now has made his way past by Raj Kulai, but Raj Kulai now at the inside as they head down to the first step, and looks like she has managed to get back that position. She's back now up into 6th place. That was good dice there going through the opening 2 corners. Ryan Prattley doing a really good job here today, by the way, as he's now got Henry Ralter looking up his inside. You can see from the first camera, Ryan Prattley doing a really good job. He's the father of Archie Prattley. He's decided to race himself, join in the fun, and he's doing really well here, running up in 7th place. So it looks like Henry Walter is right behind Ryan Putland now. Looks like, is that Adam Thompson? I think it might be actually, yeah. Adam Thompson, he's managed to make his way past Ryan Putland during those shenanigans there. So Adam Thompson now, he's through and up into 8th position ahead of Henry Walter. Henry Walter and Raz Cooler, by the way, they are boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh, we can see on the drone shot there's a move going into top bend there. So going into top bend, I believe that is Ross Sandwell going defensive against Kieran Hyde-Moody. Now Kieran Hyde-Moody looking up the inside, it's a hairpin one, but thinks better of it, tucks back in behind. This is also going to allow Brad Whitehouse to get in on the action, so he's right behind in 4th place. And then we've got Chris O'Connor, who's not far behind. Chris O'Connor being our leading heavyweight driver in this race. I think drivers make their way now through hairpin 2 in the distance. I believe that is Barney Williams who's fending off. I think that's Billy Good, it is, and Aidan Weller. Those guys are battling out for 10th position as they now come by through shot here, go through Simon Sweep and go down to the bottom end of the track.
Well, all of the drama has allowed Ross Sandwell to gain 2.5 seconds. Sorry, Lewis Jolley to gain 2.5 seconds on Ross Sandwell. Kieran Hyde-Moody in 3rd position, trying to make up that position ahead of Ross Sandwell. Takes a bit of a look to the inside as they make their way through into Conways, now through Henry's Bend, and making their way into hairpin 1. They stay behind for the time being. Brad Whitehouse right on the back of this train, and Brad actually looking to the outside line into hairpin 2. He wants to cross the lines over, wants to get himself to the inside line. Can't quite do so, and for the time being Brad Whitehouse stays where he is on what is his EKS debut. Actually, he'll be hoping to do a few of the rounds later in the season as well, but he's impressing a little bit in split 3 here as well. Chrissy Harding has caught up to the back of Andrew Laister, considering she had a spin earlier on today. That's impressive stuff for her, so we'll be keeping an eye on Chrissy as she makes her way through the field in the latter stages of this race, passing half distance, meanwhile still keeping an eye on those leaders as they make their way across the line once more. Ross Sandwell 3.4 seconds now down on Lewis Jolley. Kieran Hyde-Moody trying to make that move into the hairpin, but once again has to stay behind. The last thing he wants, given that the precedent now, Luke, is 30-second penalties if we're taking drivers out. The last thing that Kieran Hyde-Moody wants is to get a little bit greedy here and end up with a takeout penalty.
Yeah, indeed. Just to be clear as well, the 30-second penalties if you don't let the driver back pass. If you wait for them to let back pass, it gets downgraded to either so 1 point deduction or a 5-second penalty. So yeah, Miles got that 30-second penalty for not waiting for Andy. I don't think Miles actually knew he took Andy out, to be honest. I think he didn't realise it. As we can actually see now going through Gardner, that is a move in front by Brad Whitehouse at the inside of Kieran Hyde-Moody. You can see riding on board with Crossco O'Connor in this battle for 2nd place right up ahead. I think, is that Kieran still ahead? I believe, actually Kieran, he's managed to make his way past actually. So yeah, we couldn't quite see who it was, but it's Kieran Hyde-Moody who overtook Ross Sandwell. And then we've got Brad Whitehouse now in 4th place up the inside. Oh, that's a spin by Brad Whitehouse, going to say up the inside of Ross Sandwell going into hairpin 1, and Brad got a little bit too greedy with the brakes there. Locks up, spun round, and he has now dropped right down the order. So it looks like he's now dropping down to around about 12th position. He also took Ross Sandwell out with him. Nothing much to do about that. And that is going to cost Ross Sandwell some positions too, as I think he's now down to, I think it's 4th position now in this race.
Huge frustration for Brad Whitehouse and Ross Sandwell then. That's really dented their progress in this race, and the top 3 positions just eluding them ever so slightly. Remember now in the EKS every single race, split anyway, is equal to each other. Obviously the points for split 3 slightly less than the points for the other splits, but either way, as Brad Whitehouse falls all the way down into 10th position then, either way each race equally weighted, so that will be frustrating for Brad, missing out on a good haul of points there for 3rd, but pressing back on, still in the top 10, trying to gain a few positions, and he's right in that train, which at the moment, from what I can tell, is headed by Raj Kular all the way back down to just about 12th position, 13th position even Hugh Morrison, all in one big train. So all the drivers in the last 4 minutes of the race finding themselves battling, and it's remarkable actually how close they are. That sort of gaggle of 10 drivers only separated by literally a couple of seconds as it stands. Chrissy Harding, by the way, caught up to Miles Harding. She's got past Andy Laister and Troy Fraser McGonigal, so we'll be waiting to see if she can now get herself past her husband Miles Harding, but for now stays where she is and has got a couple of potential second to catch up to him. So at the line is Lewis Jolley, 4.7 seconds ahead of 2nd place Kieran Hyde-Moody. Chris O'Connell sitting in 3rd at the moment, but quickly catching up to Kieran.
You see in the distance here, we can see this battle for 8th place unfolding between Henry Walter, Barney Williams, Brad Whitehouse and co. This is a 6-way battle here, like you say, with Hugh Morrington at the back of this battle for 8th place. Seeing them now fighting their way down the bottom of the drone shot to get down to the far end of the circuit, now heading up to Garland. Looks like they're going to be staying in position for the time being. No one quite close enough to go before the move. You can see Chrissy Harding as well. She's all over the back of her husband, Miles Harding, as they now head their way up through Garland. So can she get past her husband here? Chrissy, she's got a weight advantage over Miles. She is about 20 or so kilos lighter, so she's going to have a straight line speed advantage here. She's now looking to the outside of Miles there, side by side, as they head through Conway's now, going through Henry's bend. Can Chrissy get the undercut through Henry's? Not quite, but she might be able to go for the move into everyone. No, Miles going defensive. She does not want to let his wife past, and now side by side still going up to hairpin 2. Looks like Miles is going to hold on to 40 position for the time being, although I say that Chrissy, I think she's got the undercut here, so they're going to go side by side here, going through the S's, still side by side as they make their way out the S's down into side swing, but it looks like Miles has now held on to 14th place.
Ryan Bradley gets a good exit out of Garda, now trying to attack Raj Kulard down through Cafe Curve. He's right in that slipstream and had a huge amount of exit speed, but down into turn 1 Conways, he's not quite going to be able to make that move. Chris O'Connell, meanwhile, is going to be side by side and make himself known and up a position into second position. That is for Chris O'Connell, so that's a fantastic move for him, as Ryan Pratley now looking to the inside line of Raj Kular. He'll look to the inside, look to try and squeeze way through, as Ryan Pratley side by side with someone as well. So Ryan doing a good job in attack, but Ryan not quite able to make his way through.
Yeah, there's a move there by Ross Sandwell on Chris O'Connell into 3rd position, but Chris got him straight back going through top bend, so Chris got the undercut into Henry's bend and got straight back into 3rd, but those two are battling out. Ross obviously dropped a little bit down the order because of that spin by Brad Whitehouse. We can also see riding on board with Hugh Morrington here. We can see that battle unfolding in front of us between Billy Good and Aidan Weller. So it looks like Aidan Weller, I think he stayed behind Billy Good for the time being, but these two are scrapping it out for 11th position in this race. Now also got Ryan Pratley. He's managed to make his way past whilst we weren't looking past Raj Kula, and Ryan Pratley now, he is up into 5th position in this race, and they have got Adam Thompson right behind them too. Meanwhile, Aidan Weller is up the inside of Billy Good going into hairpin 2, and it looks like Aidan Weller, he's managed to make his way now up into 11th position. So good battling up and down the field here with only a minute to go of this race.
Raj Kular trying to get back past now on Ryan Pratley. We'll see if she's able to do that. Adam Thompson with a box seat view of this. Chris O'Connell is side by side once again with the number 13 cards on Ross Sandwell, and well, back to Chris O'Connell, getting overtaken as they make their way down into Conways once more. You can see on the drone shot Chris just tucking into that slipstream, now trying to get to the inside line. He'll get to the inside line for hairpin 1. It would be a dive from here. He's certainly going to give it a go, turns in early and gets to the position, gets to the apex first into hairpin 2. Still work to do. Ross Sandwell back on the inside line. Chris will cross the lines over once again. That favoured move often outside of hairpin 2, and I think Chris O'Connell will just about, as they stay side by side through the S's. Let's not actually call it just yet, because they stay side by side all the way through down the hill through the S's. Chris O'Connell looking for the defensive move, and Ross Sandwell eventually finds his way through, streaming through as well. Ryan Pratley and Raj Kular. Ryan now trying to get past Ross Sandwell. Adam Thompson is through as well. He's on the outside of Raj Kular. Can't quite find his way through though, and is edged out a little bit on the right hand side. So huge changes for position, huge drama as we get to the final lap of the race.
Yeah, some pretty dirty driving there by Chris O'Connell. Really failed to leave space for Ross Sandwell there, so he will be spoken to after this race, but he has also dropped down to 7th place as Lewis Jolley now. He's pulled a 5-second lead over Kieran Hyde-Moody, and he is dominating this race. Kieran Hyde-Moody, meanwhile, he's managed to pull away from this pack too, so he's got a 6-second gap back to Ross Sandwell. But yeah, good race again. Unfortunately though, Chris being a bit too aggressive today.
Yeah, just a little bit too aggressive, wasn't he? And that'll be frustrating for him. Just cooling it down a little bit. He makes a move on Adam Thompson down into the final 2 corners. However, through Garda, Chris loses that position again to Adam Thompson. Adam back through and ahead. So as we get to the checkered flag, it is a fantastic drive for Lewis Jolley, who takes a victory. Kieran Hyde-Moody in 2nd. Ross Sandwell comes home in 3rd. An interesting race then, which is dominated by Lewis Jolley in the senior class, taking victory by 5.5 seconds. Kieran Hyde-Moody for Veluxis racing in second position, with Ross Sandwell making up the rest of your top three inside of Crawley Seekers. Ryan Prattley is in fourth position, with Raj Kular in fifth. Chris O'Connell is in sixth. Your highest heavyweight driver, Adam Thompson and Henry Walter, your top 8. Connecticut Racing Team's Brad Whitehouse is in ninth position, with Aidan Weller rounding out the rest of your top 10. Billy Good just outside in 11th position, with Barney Williams, another heavyweight, inside of 12th position for Virtus Racing. Podium Racing's Hugh Morriton is in 13th, Andy Laister and Chrissy Harding the rest of your top 15. Troy Fraser-McGonigal climbs one position up into 16th position, capitalising on a little bit of misfortune for Miles Harding, who rounds out the rest of your grid.
Okay, so we're here with Ryan, who was in Split 2 Race 2. As Split 1 Race 2 goes past us, absolutely blistering speed, but how was the last race for you?
Yeah, good, I really enjoyed that. I don't really kart much. It's all about my son, who's out on track now. But yeah, I heard there was one space left, so I thought I'd jump in today. So I enjoyed that, yeah.
So here we have Ross from Split 2 Race 2. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was good. My first few laps were really good. I was just trying to settle into the race. Unfortunately, someone span in front of me and kind of took me with them, so that put me a bit out of position. So it was just a bit of a rescue mission at that point. But
how successful were you? How many places were recovered?
Missed where I originally was, so I wasn't second, but I made up to third from fifth. So I'll be happy with that.
Okay.